Okay, welcome to Math 31, Section 2.1, Introduction to Integers. Integers are, just by the way, positive whole numbers, negative whole numbers, and zero. So those are the integers, and all of the answers we're going to have today are integer answers. In the first part, we're just going to be identifying the integer that's given in the problem. So in example A, the divers explored the spring down to a depth of 320 feet. Going down is negative. So the integer is negative 320 in that problem. Example B, the company lost $4 million in property damage due to a fire in the main factory. So they lost $4 million. A loss is a negative. The temperature in the high pressure boiler of a locomotive, and you can see I misspelled boiler, so cross off that extra D there, quickly reached 380 degrees Fahrenheit. So this is 380 degrees above zero. So we're going to have positive 380. The plus sign is not written, although it's implied. You want to think of there being a plus sign there, even though they don't show it. Extended exposure to temperatures of 15 degrees below zero can cause serious frostbite. Below zero. Example E, after the news of healthy third quarter earnings, the company's share price increased, that'd be positive, by $6 per share. So positive 6. Okay, the goal here on example B is to draw a number line and then graph the integers that are given. So we're going to draw a number line, and some examples are given up there of what is expected. You may notice on these that I only actually label the scale every fifth number, and you are expected to do the same thing. So just basically copy what it says there, and it tells you to do exactly that. So I'm going to use a straight edge, and I'm going to draw a nice long line. And then I'm going to mark a scale. It has to be really nice and even. Every fifth one I make a little more prominent. Okay, don't worry if your scale had the line goes on there, but negative 10 on the left, negative 5 comes next, 0, 5, and 10. And then we're supposed to graph 0 first, so you put a dot on the line, nowhere else. And then you put a dot at 8, label it. Label the negative 4, and finally label the negative 7. Now, I'll caution you that there's a lot of teachers that get sloppy on this and just teach it wrong. The dots belong on the line, they don't belong above it. Don't do little arrows pointing to the locations where you think they should go. And I do expect that your scale will be evenly spaced. So I'm looking for those things when you do a good job. Okay, on examples G and forward here, we're supposed to decide which of the integers are bigger or smaller using a less than or greater than sign. And the way this works is that little sign always points towards the smaller. Some people say it the other way. They say the alligator mouth points towards the bigger one. It gets a little confusing with integers, which one's bigger and smaller. So the general comment I'll make is that if you were to graph them on a number line, I'll be doing that just to illustrate it. The one that's smaller is always to the left of the one that's bigger. So 5 is there and 8 is over here. And since 5 is on the left of 8, it's the smaller number. Now, when you get down in negative territory, sometimes people get confused. But again, the one that's on the left is smaller. So negative 7 is smaller than negative 2, less than negative 2. you make it point towards the smaller one. Okay, I'm going to put -4 down. I'm going to put 0 down and give you a second to digest which one of those is on the left. And the one that's on the left is the -4, so you make it point towards that smaller value. And you would read that 0 is greater than -4. That's how you would read that. If you read it backwards, it's -4 is less than 0. Okay, +1 is over here, and -3 is over here. And -3 is to the left of -1 on the number line, so it's smaller. Now, all of this stuff over here is optional. You don't actually have to do the number lines, but you should at least be able to visualize it in your head. Okay, I'll do 2 more problems here, and then we'll take a break for the second video. Okay, these bars that you see on this problem here are called absolute value bars. So example K would read the absolute value of -6. Example L is the absolute value of 3. And the absolute value is its positive distance from 0 on a number line. So here's -6. And it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units from 0. So it's absolute value 6 units away from 0. So in effect, absolute value bars will take a negative number, you can see there was a negative number there, and change it to a positive number. Now if you have a positive number to start with, let's see what happens there. 3. Its positive distance from 0 is 3 units. So the absolute value of 3 is just 3. So the bars, you essentially just erase them when you got a positive number inside. Okay, and we'll break there for the end